right, everyone, welcome back in another episode of T&J Sports Podcast. We got Drizzy here, TStalls is here, Eugene is back from last week. I know that's not your nickname. I forgot the other nickname. So,
Captain Hook.
Oh,
Captain
good.
Hook, sorry. Captain Hook is back from last week. We're gonna go over Week 10, college football. We've got new college football playoff rankings. We got big wins, big losses, everything, this, that, and the other. So, in essence, I will kick it over to TStalls so he can talk about his Louisville Cardinals. We'll start off with.
Yeah, all right, I'll kick it off. What's up, everybody? So we start this week. Well, we went into last week with a defense that was dominating against Wake Forest, and it continued into this game. They continued to roll against JMU. I know, saying JMU James Madison is a D2 school or Division I school FCS team going into FBS for the first year. Nevertheless, they're a great offensive team coming into this game. But our defense held them strong, held them to only 193 yards of offense, 52 yards of passing, and 141 yards of rushing. I mean, that sounds like a great defensive stat right there, where this team averaged 444 yards of offense per game, and we held them to 193. I don't know if you guys caught any of the game. Did you get to catch any of it?
Yeah, I caught a little of it.
Yeah. The first couple of drives of the game with them on offensive wise, their running back, which if you see his name, you want to call him Obese, but it's Obese. I believe is how you say it correctly. I can say his name better than DJ, so I'll just say his Obese. The guy is really, really good. He came from even lower Division III school, and he transferred to JMU, and they asked him, why don't you try to transfer to a Division I school? Like, you could be in contention for a lead role at a Power 5 school, and I think this kid really could have been. Nevertheless, he still showed out in this game. Majority of those rushing yards were on him. In this game, this quarterback was shut down. Louisville really put it to him. The guy had a 400-yard passing game just a couple weeks prior, if I'm not mistaken, John.
I believe so.
Yeah, this guy went, for 400 yards, but he only passed 15 times in this game and completed 4 of them. I don't know if that's more on the defense or if that was more on the, offensive coordinator for JMU not thinking he could throw the ball against us when, our DBs have been pretty suspect all season except for these last couple of weeks. And for them to only pass 15 times, it was very shocking. I mean, me being a Louisville fan, I'm glad they didn't throw it. So we played an outstanding game on defense.
It looked like they didn't trust the quarterback the entire game. They looked kind of scared to throw the ball.
They look very intense. I don't know if they've seen something in film where they really want to stick to that game plan, but I know we talked about this last week with, your all's offensive coordinator sticking to his game plan, even if it's shown to not work, going into third quarter, fourth quarter. He really stuck to this game plan of just running the ball. And if he did throw the ball, it was nothing down the field. He really didn't test our DBs. And, I mean, if he did test it, he only completed 4 of them out of 15. So, defensively, I hope we keep it going. I hope we keep it rolling because we have a strong test this week with Clemson. But offensively, Malik, I think he had it was a good game. I mean, if you look at his stats, he was 14 of 20, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. But for the first time, I think maybe in his career, he had 0 rushing yards. I mean, he was sacked a couple of times, which happened to be a reason why he was only at 0 yards rushing. But I think, he can show that he can utilize his arm if he gives it to the right guy. And that right guy was Tyler Hudson, who had a great game. This was his first year as a Louisville Cardinal, and he got his first touchdown this game in Game 8, which, it's a long time coming, but it was a great touchdown. It was a great pass by Malik. And, Tyler Hudson finished with 6 catches, 142 yards, and that touchdown. But I give hats off and the game ball to my man Tyon Evans. This guy has battled injuries since, 2 or 3 weeks ago. He came into this game, and he had a 70-yard run or 50-yard run last week against Wake Forest. And this past week, he broke a 71-yard run, finished the game with 10 rushes for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. This is the back that we need, and he's only a junior, so I hope he decides to come back. But I think with his play these last 2 weeks and with, people we have on our schedule the next 3 weeks, if he can continue to play like this, his draft stock's going to continue to rise.
First off, they got to cut the kicker. He is the worst I've ever seen. I've lost count of how many misses he's had. If they could have just left him in Columbia, Missouri on the trip home, that'd been great. If they could go by like one of the frat houses and have like an open tryout or go to the soccer teams, I don't know. That kid is killing us. He cost us the game against Ole Miss, and he damn near.
Yeah, I mean UK definitely probably needs to keep him back there, and like you said, leave him in Columbia. Maybe him walking home will help strengthen that leg a little bit.
Something. I don't know. It's so bad. Like I'm going to the game this weekend, and we're sitting in the upper deck, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to catch a ball from him.
I don't think he can make it that far, actually.
Well, I don't know. He can make it. He can make it that far because we're sitting far to the left. That's pretty much where he aims for.
There you go. Okay.
He is 9 for 15 on the year.
Oh man.
So
and all those 6 misses were huge.
We have learned, both of us have learned it pays to have a good backup quarterback and it pays to have a good kicker, or at least a reliable kicker.
Right.
Yeah. He's 23 for 22 on extra points, but both of those, I believe, were botched snaps on the extra points.
I think that was both Ole Miss game too.
I know one was in the Ole Miss game for sure. I think the other one was in the Tennessee game because we went to tie it and jacked up that one too. So, but yeah, the kicker got to go, which bad news. Stoop said he's not changing the kicker for this week. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the year. But I think good thing that we can take out of that game was, I mean, it looked a little bit well-rounded on offense. Not totally better, but it looked a little bit better. There was some more air attack going on with it, but still 21-17 win on the road. Just there was good things and bad things. A lot of that game was pretty defensive and a lot of bad offense more than great defense, I would say.
That pretty much sums it up. That offensively,
looks like y'all get another good break this week. You'll get another good break this week with Vandy. So maybe
we could
hit a stride this week against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we got a couple gimme games at the end of the year, sandwiched in with number 1 Georgia. So
we have the toughest.
I think Ruffalo's going to get a lot of practice. What's up?
Yeah. I was saying we both so we're both kind of on the different right here. You're facing the team that's at the end of ranking wise, and Vanderbilt, and we're at the team that's was at the top of the rankings. It's still one of the top tier teams. It's still in the top 10 of college football playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, rankings at least. And Clemson, I think this is actually a good time to catch them, even though they may have momentum off of this embarrassing loss in Notre Dame, 35-14. Which Jordan, you called it, man. Good call on that one. I mean, we knew Clemson was a fraud team. We knew they weren't college football playoff material. But I still have seen them, to win some of these, like win out and, and need TCU to show that they're better. But tough task with Clemson this week for Louisville, but we do get lucky with it being, some of their key players are out. Bo Collins, who went off on us last year at Louisville, he's out with a shoulder injury. And then one of their leading defensive tackles, Xavier Thomas, is out as well. So that actually is very helpful for us. that means we should be able to kind of rush the quarterback, which we don't even know what quarterback's going to play. Is it going to be DJ? Go ahead and say it, Jordan. DJ who?
Uiagalelei.
Yeah, we go. That guy is going to be
Ukulele.
him, or it's going to be their 5-star freshman. I mean, geez, I don't know which 5-star to put in, but I think they finally got nipped in the bud right here where, it's okay to have 5-stars coming in, but you're not going to have a once in a, generational talent come in every single time. And like they did with Trevor Lawrence, they got blessed with getting Trevor Lawrence and, Deshaun Watson, getting him. So it's, now they're where the rest of the world's at, the rest of the college world, where you have a quarterback that's not that great. Maybe he's highly praised, but he's not going to play that well. And he hasn't played that well these last 3 years that he's been there. And maybe this is the time for Louisville to take that 0-7 against Clemson since being the ACC and make that 1-7. And this is the time to seize it is now.
Yeah, the best time as any to right the ship would be now, when they seem their most vulnerable, and more human, you could say, rather than superhero.
Yeah.
So I think both of Kentucky's got pretty easy slate this week. Vanderbilt has the flu running through their whole locker room right now. I think they're down like 40 guys or something like that, I heard. Including quarterback. They're starting their backup, who was their starter at the beginning of the year, is now their backup. So it should be pretty easy there. Hopefully, for your sake, UVL can get over the hump with that monkey on your back with Clemson and whatnot. So another topic from last week was Tennessee, Georgia. What did you guys think of that game?
John, I'll let you answer first. I mean, I know where it's standing for me, but I want to hear what John has to say about it.
About the Tennessee-Georgia game?
Yeah.
That was pretty delicious.
I knew it was going to be that.
You don't hear me at all.
It was delicious. Tennessee didn't learn how to play defense.
Yeah.
Everything in between that was not there.
Yeah. It's all good. I know exactly what you were going with. It was delicious to see Tennessee go down after putting on such a beating to you all in the week prior. So I was kind of, I don't want to say I was not, okay with that game. Obviously, you want to see the best team win, and they were by far the best team out there. And
killer assholes.
Tennessee's 14 points. Tennessee's 14 points has nothing to do with, that 28-14. It may look like it was only a 2-touchdown game. No, that game was well in the books before Tennessee got those 2 touchdowns. I wanted to see way more. I don't know.
It wasn't even 2 touchdowns. 27-13.
Yeah.
Tennessee had touchdown in the fourth quarter, but they only had 2 field goals in the first half.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. I don't know if Hyatt just kept getting injured or what, because I seen the first deep shot Hooker took in the game. He got rolled up on and he started wobbling off, and like, dang, I really want to see this guy go off against Georgia, but their DBs are good, man. You cannot test them, and they proved it last year in the championship game. I believe the same guy that got the interception in the championship game to seal the game was the one who got the interception on Hyatt this week, and is like, they got some real defense out there. I mean, it may have been exposed sometimes this year and in previous games, but they were locked into this. They were locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I think their, one bad game of the year was kind of that Missouri game.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they did give up 22 points the week before to Kent State, but I mean, everyone has a close game every now and then. Yeah. But it kind of reminds me of the fact that, sometimes you see it in the NFL more. You can kind of just get a feel, especially with some of these guys that have been in there forever, teams that are just super good. Mm-hmm. You're just kind of playing to get to the postseason. Yeah. Like, whatever record you have, obviously in college it's different. You lose 1 game, 2 games, it's a hell of a lot more meaningful than the NFL. Yeah. But, you don't have if you just win your games, especially if you're Georgia, Alabama, anyone at the top. You kind of coast through, get into the postseason, and then that's where you're able to do what you need to do. I think that could be.
They're going to have that kind of style Georgia had against Missouri, I think, this week with Vandy. I think what Georgia did was they probably played a lot of their guys that don't play that much to get more game experience because of these Tennessee games that can be close, and you need somebody with in-game experience. So I think that's what Kentucky may do this week with Vanderbilt. I would not be shocked if you see your backup quarterback out there, which I know you said earlier this week you'd love to see your backup quarterback play this game because he needs that experience.
I would. I would like him to get the experience, and I would like Levis to get healthy for those last two games, because the last two games are so important. Just one with Georgia competing and not just rolling over like you did with Tennessee, just competing in that game, and then of course the game at the end of the year that we always look forward to more of a personal impact standpoint, but it is, I'd like to see him play those two games rather than the Vandy game, just to get healthy for that.
Yeah,
I still sounded like a robot.
I don't know. You sound a little bit better right now.
A little bit. I finally got decent service.
Yeah, good.
Pretty sure half of what I said got cut out. That's going to be wonderful hearing later.
It was more than half.
Yeah. We heard delicious, Tennessee, and can you guys hear me? I'm like, no.
It's great.
But go ahead. What's your thoughts on the game?
Hopefully, I'd like to see Levis play. I don't want to go to this game and not see him play. But hopefully they get a good enough score up on Vandy where they can just bench him in the second half.
Yeah.
And Ruffalo gets all the practice he can to not be the worst kicker in the SEC.
Hopefully he's only practicing extra points and not field goals.
Well, hopefully he gets a little bit of both because, he's terrible.
Yeah, I get you. This is definitely a get-right game for you guys because Missouri tested you. That was a close one. Levis showed up a little bit, but it also showed, man, your line, whatever. I know you said it was the schemes that your offensive coordinator may have been coaching, but they need to get something together because the guy was sacked 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a recipe for longevity for a quarterback like Levis. He may be big and strong, but he can take only so many hits.
It's weird because we have the size for an SEC line, but it's almost like we have all the size but none of the ability.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys didn't get to play in years prior, where the last O-line coach has just didn't rotate as many guys in as he needed to. I've looked at that over the past few weeks and stuff like that. I've learned that he didn't. So a lot of these guys didn't get the playing time as much as what they probably needed to jump into a starting role with who we lost to the draft last year. So, they're kind of learning on the fly, and then they also have to learn a new offense along with quarterback learning a new offense. So, yeah, he does. He's been sacked 6 times. 6, 4, 1, 3, 5. Those are the last 5 games.
Wow.
So they're 11, 16, 19 sacks in the past 5 games.
It's hard to get healthy.
Good God.
Hard to get healthy when you're getting hit. Malik Cunningham got it this week against JMU. They sacked him, I believe. Like I said, he didn't have any rushing yards because he was sacked, I think, 5 times. And JMU's defense, they tested us, but luckily, our defense stepped up. But that's the Louisville, Kentucky recap and previews. We already talked on Tennessee, Georgia, Clemson a little bit with the loss of Notre Dame. What is your thoughts on the Alabama LSU game?
Well, I'll say Brian Kelly's got some big balls down in his britches to go for 2 there.
I like it.
Second time he's done that this season, though. He did that against Florida State too.
Yeah,
backburn.
Yeah, but you play to win, and I guess you just get a feeling of, we're either going to win or lose it on this one. A lot of it maybe still trying to totally win over the locker room in year one. I noticed that was a big thing everyone kept saying was now it shows that he trusts his guys to the fullest to go out there, win or lose, blah, blah, blah. So maybe, that was a big part of it as well. But I mean, LSU looks really good. We'll see, Alabama doesn't look like Alabama as much. I just gotta. What do you guys think? I'll switch it over to you all.
Alabama's down. This is I wouldn't say it's the worst because what was crazy is I heard him say it. Alabama, Nick Saban's coach, coach of Alabama, said last year was a rebuild year, and he had a Heisman Trophy winner last year. So if last year was your rebuild year, you're supposed to give everybody experience, and he does have 5 stars on 5 stars on 5 stars. And then what is this year? You return your Heisman Trophy winner, and you're sitting at 2 losses going into the home stretch of, college football. Like you said earlier, 1 or 2 losses and you're done. Like your college football playoff dreams are done. It's now you're shooting for the New Year's Bowl. And for any other program in the nation, New Year's Bowl game is definitely a goal you set at the beginning of the season. But when you're Alabama, Georgia, I would even put Ohio State in there.
Throw Clemson in there too.
Yeah, Clemson. It's not a New Year's Bowl game or bust. It's championship or bust. And like they're shooting for championships, and this is a bust for Alabama. No matter what, if they go to the New Year Bowl game and blow out one of Oregon, LSU, if they get a redemption to LSU in like a bowl game at the end of the year, I think that'll be good for them. But they're going to see this as a huge bust.
Most definitely. So, yeah, it's playoff or bust for those teams that have been in there, every single year. So that's definitely a bad year for Alabama. We'll have to see how they rebound in the next year.
This is huge.
Hopefully they need a better offensive line too, because a lot of games I've watched, Bryce Young's got his head taken off many times.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you would think most of the guys that they have 5 stars that come in, they don't play until like their sophomore, junior year, and it's usually a redshirt sophomore year. Yep. You never play your freshman year. You never play your true sophomore year unless it is needed. Like you're absolutely the best, or your position's injured. So most of these guys don't have that game experience. So
Yeah, there's one point about Saban's comment from last year. There's a lot of games last year they should have lost. So I'm thinking this is just the games that they just didn't finish. Like, none of their losses were blowouts. Like they're losing on like last second field goals or game winning drives. So I think just teams are finishing now.
Yeah, and they are not.
Last year Auburn had them on the ropes till the very end. So,
yeah, that was they were overtime game going back and forth with 2-point conversions, I think.
Right.
It gets easier for them in the SEC because this week they have Ole Miss, and it's not going to be a cakewalk because Lane Kiffin wants his first win against Nick Saban.
Oh man, that's going to be fun if Kiffin could pull that off. That dude's just going to troll Nick Saban for this entire year.
This would be the first lost season, right? Huh?
Did y'all see Lane Kiffin's press conference or whatnot with reporters here either today or yesterday or whatnot? He was saying something about Feinbaum tweeted something about Nick Saban, and he was like, every time he says something like this, it's just adding it's like goat fuel instead of rat poison, and he always got to say it the week before I go and play him. And now we'll see what happens. They just adding goat fuel to the fire for Nick Saban, and just we'll see what happens there. But I just thought
Kiffin's just trying to butter him up, to be honest with you.
Lane Kiffin is a character, but he's a pretty awesome character, I will say.
Oh yeah, I like him as a coach. I didn't like him last year when they were blowing us out, but I like him as a coach. I want to see him get this win because I think this will be the first time Alabama has 3 losses since 2000, like Nick Saban's
First year.
First year? Yeah, his first year there, they had 3 losses.
Yeah, one of those were like Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, so this will be like the first time in almost 20 years that they have 3 losses. So I don't want to, I want to see a good game. I want to see another high scoring game like we did this past week. But yeah, so that's Alabama. You think they're out, or do they need? If they can win out, they could potentially be back in it.
No way. Not with
They're
2 losses.
Out. So we got them out. Another team that I counted out, obviously, is Oklahoma State. Horrible, horrible losses this week. Clemson's obviously out. I think LSU bought themselves back in by beating Alabama. TCU still in the hunt. Oregon's in the hunt. USC, UCLA. But those 3 teams right there, Oregon, USC, and UCLA, they all have a game against one another at some point in the rest of this year. And I think it will be USC that'll come out on top. And
I think UCLA is a sleeper in that. I think USC might be the worst team out of the 3, to be honest with you.
I still feel like they'll sneak it out and win it. There's just something about USC. I feel like they will. They need to get their monkey off their back these last couple of years. They have been horrible, and I think they have the right guy. Well, at least he looks like the right guy when he was at Oklahoma. But he got everybody from Oklahoma last year now in his roster. He has guys, top recruits, top transfers transferring in. So I think he's the guy to get this USC program back to what it was when we were younger. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get back to Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, though.
Oh yeah.
That
Especially
was
beating them with Alabama and Clemson for top players, and now Georgia, and I mean, you'll always be, it's going to be hard, especially in this day in NIL. The age of NIL, it's going to be hard, even harder to get those kind of players on your team.
Oh, I don't think it'd be that hard, to be honest with you. If you got a coach like that, and then you're in the LA area, you should be able to get whoever you want.
Yeah, you got them LA taxes.
Well, I mean, you got all those businesses around you too. You got a bunch of millionaires and billionaires that.
Yeah. See the guy that won the $2 billion. I mean, he didn't even get $2 billion. He got like $500 million because of taxes.
Hell, I don't care. I'd take that too.
Oh yeah. I mean, any kid's gonna take that and get a chance to play at USC, and go to the NFL. But so we'll see. I think we hit the point in this. We're gonna go ahead and I don't really want to. We're gonna go over the picks we made last week.
Yeah, because you're absolutely trash.
Whoa, don't call it trash. I went undefeated last week. It's just because I put my bad juju on it and
the week before was literally the easiest. Well, besides the Wake Forest Louisville game, was the easiest week to pick.
But you still went 5-1.
I put.
Yeah. Join back in, and we'll finish off this and get. Let's knock these out so I can get back on track. Dang it, Jordan, we got the same dang picks this week. I'm gonna make a switch on one of
them. It's gonna put you behind. Who you change?
I don't know. Forget it. I'm staying with it. I feel like these guys are going to win, so I'm sticking with it.
All right. So everyone, we're back. We've got our picks. It's time to make our picks for week 11. We got 6 games here to choose from. First off, Alabama, Ole Miss. You got Lane Kiffin and Goat Fuel over there. So, Tyrone, what do you feel about this game, and who do you think is going to come out on top?
I think it's gonna be Bama. I'm not gonna go away from this, even though I want to see Lane Kiffin get a good win. I think he has the offense to do it. He has the skill to do it, and this is the Alabama. Apparently, as we've seen, this is the Alabama team to get the win against. But I'm not going to go against the GOAT. I think Nick Saban is going to put his foot in there, what's this week, and Bryce Young is going to show why he should be a top 5 draft pick this year.
I gotcha. What do you think, John?
I think Bama's going to come out fired up and might rout them in this game. I don't want it to happen. I kind of want Kiffin to pull it off, but
yeah,
I think this is going to be an ass kicking.
You think there's going to be some mustard on the field?
No, they ain't playing Tennessee, bro.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. When is that game? Do they play each other again this year? Or?
No.
I
think that'll be a rotating every 6-7 year game.
Okay. All right. Well, we all got Bama. Look at that. We all took Bama last week, and we seen what happened. Let's hope.
Yeah,
let's hope we're right this week.
No. I'm rolling with Bama just because I don't. They're not gonna lose too many in a row. He's not gonna be on a slide that long.
No.
So next up, Louisville, Clemson. Let's see where this one goes. John, I'll let you start it off.
I'm gonna take Clemson just because they're at home.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I don't know if Louisville can handle that crowd noise. I think it's gonna be close though. I think Louisville's defense is legit. If DJ is on the bench, if Ukulele's on the bench, I think they'll be pretty good though. I think they can pull it off. But if he's starting, I think Louisville might scare him.
Oh yeah.
One good thing, I'm actually going with Louisville. They are on the road, but they've got hella momentum on their side. Clemson's still a fraud, and they don't have James Quick that's going to chicken out and jump out of bounds 2 yards before the first down on 4th down. So there's my synopsis. Tyrone, what do you think?
That man, James Quick, has had the most up and down career at Louisville. I mean, punt return dropped at Virginia to running out of bounds with Clemson. But I'm going to
get when you go to Trinity. That's what you get. You become a bitch.
Yeah. I'm going with Louisville. I kind of, going with what you said, John, and Louisville does have a true defense right now. At least they have momentum right now. We're led by Eminem, Momo Sinago, and Monty Montgomery. They're both playing great ball at the linebacker position. Our DBs are playing better. And like I said before, their top receivers out. I think that will help us out on the defensive end, D-back end. So I think we can brush this quarterback because he's not a good quarterback. He hasn't shown to be good. And, I think crowd noise will play a factor, but I think Louisville will, be able to get it together, and Tyon Evans is going to go for a big game.
Gotcha. So 2 Louisville, 1 Clemson. We'll see who's right in that regard. TCU, Texas. It's at Texas, I believe. And John, I know you've been high on TCU. Do you think they're going to pull off that win this week?
I hope so. TCU, every single game, they have to come from behind. If they get down to this Texas team, I think that might be ball game. I'm still going to pick TCU, but this one worries me.
This one worries you. Okay. I'm going to roll with TCU. Haven't seen them play much. I have seen Texas a couple times, but nothing. They don't really scare me. But I'm just, the Horned Frogs now. They're number 4. They're playing really well, undefeated. I just think they would go in and take care of business, stick in that spot. But we all know sometimes you get out there and the pressure's too much. You fall right off. So we'll see what happens. Tyrone, what do you think?
I'm right there with you. That pressure is going to be a lot on TCU, but I think TCU will pull this out. Even being at Texas, because they are at Texas in this game. It's going to be difficult to go into their stadium and win, but I mean TCU they played really really well this year. They should. I mean he should be in the Heisman Trophy running. Max Duggan, I think he's going to show his case this week, even more so.
He's going to need to. That Texas is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're back. Can we say they're back in the Sam Ellinger voice?
If they win this game, I don't know. They said
I
they're
wouldn't base it on one game. I'd base it on the season, to be honest with you.
Yeah. This season has played well for them. If they beat Alabama, but man, I don't think they're back yet. They got to make it a couple years in a row of 8-win, 9-win seasons, and then trickle in a 10-win season. Then you can be like, all right, we're back. We're not mediocre anymore. But
going to beat Kansas, to be honest. They lose to Kansas every other year, it seems like.
Yeah.
Moving on, we all got TCU in that one. So moving on, LSU, Arkansas. LSU coming off that win against Alabama, going on the road to Arkansas. I'm going with LSU. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be LSU too. Arkansas has fell off tremendously from the beginning of this season. I had high hopes for them in a couple games this year where I picked, Arkansas to win, and it kind of bit me in the butt against Texas A&M in week 4. I believe I picked them again. What week was it? Forgot what week it was, but it bit me in the butt there. I'm not taking it this time. I'm going LSU. They got too much momentum.
Arkansas at home. That's a pretty tough. It's a pretty tough game, but I still think LSU can pull it off. I forgot his name. The quarterback for Arkansas. He looked like he was supposed to be like he looked like he was going to be like a Heisman favorite, and then absolutely fell off the map.
Yeah, that's why I was high on him. That's why I was high on him. Yeah,
he's been injured a lot, hasn't he? This back half of the year.
Yeah, he was injured. I think in that week 4 game that I picked him to win, and I was like, oh, I didn't know he was injured. That helps.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick LSU in that one. I think it might be a route.
Here we go.
All right, so we're all LSU. So far, the only difference is that Louisville Clemson game. Moving on, this game really doesn't even need to be asked about. South Carolina Vandy. It's kind of a bottom tier SEC East matchup.
Florida.
Yeah, I'm going with Florida just for namesake alone, and I don't like Shane Beamer.
He's a cornball, man. He's such a cornball.
I'm going Florida as well. Yeah, Gators are going to get it. You're at Florida. South Carolina is.
Spencer Rattler is garbage, y'all.
Tell us something we already Tell us something.
Yeah, bro. He's terrible.
So,
I think that's the only SEC team Clemson can beat on right now, and they will beat on them in a couple weeks. So,
we'll
John,
see.
Who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with Florida, like y'all two are gonna be going with. Gonna be no different pick besides that Louisville game. It sounds like.
That means we know what we know.
Yeah, but I think Florida is gonna win, but I think it's gonna be close.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being close because they're both absolutely dog shit, and we shouldn't have lost to South Carolina, but it is what it is. All right, moving on. Just because it is what it is. Kentucky, Vandy.
It's a hard one. This is a hard one.
This is a very hard one, especially for Tyrone because he's been hating lately.
Hey, and I picked y'all to win a couple weeks ago.
You're just being a big hater, especially from our text conversations earlier this morning. I had to throw my phone across the room.
If I can just restate what happened in week 7, I picked Kentucky to beat Mississippi State, and you picked Mississippi State to win. And who was right that week? I was. I was right, but it's okay.
So I'm going Kentucky. Our own said Kentucky. John, you're going to the game, so I'm guessing you better pick Kentucky. So
yep. We can pick the spread on this one if y'all really want to do that.
I know.
What is the spread of this game?
I know damn well enough never to take the spread in Kentucky football.
Oh no, not this year.
Tyrone learned that this year. Tyrone learned that early this year.
I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on point total though.
What's the over under on points?
Let's go look and see. Whatever it is, I'm going under because you're not scoring that many points on teams you should. Let's see. Sorry, my searching right now. The spread for this game is going to be
spread is 18. Over under is 47 in the hook.
Slam that under.
Give me the over. I want to see points.
I bet it. You haven't hit 40 points once this year, have you?
No, but that's total. I was going to say that's total points though, isn't it?
Yeah, Vandy's not going to score more than 7 points, 10 points.
They'll score like 17. You watch. But Kentucky's going to score like 35.
They do average 26 points per game. Their point average is more than your all's, but they give up 36 points. So
yeah, they also played Hawaii, whose defense is horrible.
Gave up 55 to Georgia, 52 to Ole Miss, 55 to Alabama.
Good God. If we don't score at least 35, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, okay. They gave up 38 to South Carolina. That may help you guys out. Y'all may get – I'll say it's going to be 40-7. 40-7. Your defense is too good to let up, more than that.
They're gonna let up some points. It's gonna happen. It happens every time.
All right. Well, I'll not take the under. I'll just take money line Kentucky then.
That's your safest bet.
Yeah.
Just take the fucking money line.
Well, you better hope I don't make any bets on this week because I'm gonna mess up a lot of these games with my betting.
All right. So we all picked Kentucky. Week 11's in the books. I think that's it for this week. Other than Louisville basketball is the epitome of dog shit right now. Just want to throw that out there for everybody. And I think that wraps up this week. What do you guys think?
I mean, can't take nothing else. I mean, truth is the truth.
Yeah, Bellarmine, team full of white dudes, went and beat Louisville at home.
We lost to the LA Fitness finest right there.
Yeah, you lost to fighting Troy Bolton, bro.
I think we lost to every guy that was on Trinity's bench a couple of years ago, and one guy from Providence.
You lost the collective Trinity, Cal, St. X bench warmers down there. Going to
all I gotta say is Scotty Davenport. They need to build it. If there's anybody that gets a statue built of him in Kentucky, it's Scotty Davenport. He has built that.
That man is a great coach. He's a great guy.
Man,
I mean,
I couldn't even.
He looks like everybody's gym teacher.
Yeah, he's like that old movie guy that you see that's a gym teacher. It would be him.
Yeah, he looks like his favorite sport outside of this is kickball.
All right. Well,
he's a pickleball champion, man.
Hey, that's the new sport. I like it. But we're gonna have to do our college basketball one for everybody. I know it's already into the season. We didn't get to do a preview, but I kind of didn't push a preview because I knew what Louisville was going to be. But we'll start talking about basketball here in a couple of weeks for sure. Once we get the season going, definitely talk about it before the slaughtering on the 31st of December.
It'll definitely talked about well before then.
Yeah, but it was a great episode. Got a lot to talk about. We talked about, a lot of teams showed what they can do this year. LSU has a lot to prove in these next couple weeks. So Alabama is going to have to do something against Ole Miss, and Louisville make me and Jordan right this week.
They're not, but it's all right.
We'll see. Keep it. Last year we should have won, but we were at home and DJ played all of that game. So hopefully they stick with that same strategy. Play DJ even when he throws his fourth pick. Keep going with it, Clemson. We love it. But TStalls out.
Drizzy's out. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks for having me again.